that's the importance of just doing things over and over and over again, and having the same enthusiasm when you're doing it is, I think, very important. And sometimes doing it, boring or repetitive is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, I used to have a coach who'd say all the time, repetition makes greatness. And I mean, whether you're, hammering in nails, like a good guy at construction could hammer it in 2 strikes, rather than maybe me, I don't do that. It might take me 10. The more times you do something, the more proficient you get at it. Repetition makes greatness. And whether you're in hammering nails or throwing, a 1-2 combination or, investing in the stock market. I think the more times you do something and have a sound understanding of the fundamentals, I think, the better you are at it.
I'm smiling a little bit about the nail analogy, because I remember being a kid and like a child. And when you're a kid you're holding the nail and
your thumb.
Yeah, hit your thumb. Yeah, the old guys don't do that. Yeah, the old guys are, tap, tap.
Yeah.
Next one, tap, tap.
But they've done it for 40 years.
Yeah. And I remember asking one of those old fellas, I'm like, how come you never hit your thumb? And he's like, someday you'll get tired of hitting your thumb too, and you'll just stop doing that.
Exactly.
So you hit it a few more times. When you get tired of it, then you'll stop.
And that's such is life.
If you don't have $1 million yet, you're living a much lesser life than what could be easily available to you with the right guidance. My head coach has freed up a few spots in his calendar to hold one-on-one strategy calls with the highest quality applicants. If you're doing well already and you're looking to accelerate your momentum and do even better, click the link in the description now and apply for your strategy session. More at the end of this video.
All right, how you doing, folks? Today I have Kyle and Katlyn Cerminara, and Kyle's a high-level wrestler. Did Olympic Training Center, 3 years or so he's been over there. So it helps me out with some wrestling, helps me out with some jiu-jitsu. Katlyn's in the UFC, top contender, choking bitches for a living, twisting their arms in peculiar fashion, and fought for the title over there in her weight division. Has got a lot of records over there. Got several records at UFC for various fighting endeavors. So they're training with me this week. Helped me quite a bit, really, with bringing together some wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and just being a well-rounded grappler overall, and a little bit of striking too. But we were just talking in the gym. We work out like every day when we're here, and we're talking in the gym about I had closing on a property earlier today. I had to buy a parking spot. Buy a parking spot. I know for some people that don't live in a crowded city, then even that sounds weird. Buy a parking spot. I had to buy a parking spot to put my Rolls Royce. And you don't want a small parking spot for your Rolls Royce, or somebody might ding your door or something. You can't have a ding in the door of your purple Rolls Royce, can you? So metallic purple. So the car is coming in, probably less than 3 weeks. 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. So I had closing on the parking spot today. And then afterwards we were in the gym, and I said, maybe I should have taken a little Instagram video of, being at the closing. And we had a little conversation about that I always forget to do shit like that. Because it's like I have 12 real estate transactions. We were counting those earlier too. So I bought or sold 12 properties in the last couple of years. And, it's not really a rare thing to have closing for me to buy something or sell something in real estate. And also just, I don't give a fuck about showing every little aspect of, it's not a big deal, to spend 50 or 100 grand on something. It's like, that's cool. I was down a lot more than that in the stock, but I'm down about 300,000 in the stock market today. So, but for a lot of people, the little Instagram flex was like, I bought a parking spot for 75 grand. So, all right. I don't know. What do you folks think? Where I think there's some people that are trying really hard to look cool on the internet, and there's a lot of fake or manufactured circumstances that they create to try to film a little video for something, or get a little attention somehow. I like making money on the internet. I like reaching the right people, but I'm not really that inclined. I don't know that I'm missing too much money by by not, showing every little tidbit or showing off certain things to the peasants that might attract. But how do you think about these sort of things?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Like sometimes I do stuff where I'm at certain training sessions. I'm like, oh, I should have recorded this. I should have posted something about it, but I was actually like focused on it when I'm in there and I'm not thinking about that, which, sometimes I think, oh, maybe if I put more of this content out, it'll be better for my brand, my following. But at the end of the day, like the results are where you get the brand and the following. So if I'm taking a little bit away from my training to do that, then I don't think that's, the best thing to do. But I mean, I've been there. I've literally been in the gym where I see people are like not working out and then I watch them record it and then I'll see their post later that day and I'm like, wait, I was there. If you see the post, you're like, wow, they're training really hard. And I was like, no, I was there. You only did that exercise for that video. So then it like kind of makes me like not believe anything I see on the internet, which some people probably are, posting real stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think as time evolves and people are more aware of things, I think that it's kind of like fading a little bit where people can see through the like fakeness of social media a little bit more, where I think like even 5 years ago people just like believed everything they said, or they're like, oh, they make a lot of money, they post it, they said they do. I'm like, well, if you're saying, you might not, that doesn't mean you can say whatever you want on the internet.
I don't even talk about money that damn much on social media. We take little clips out of these weekly calls, or I'll put up some screenshots where, if I make a little money, or when I lose money, sometimes I post screenshots of, I lost $1 million today. And I just think it's better to show, parts of that reality, or show the, both, I don't know, kind of the behind the scenes gritty shit. I don't bother to brush my hair to come on here to talk to some of my most important clients, because I'm like, this is what it looks like, guys. Like this is what it looks like if you were here. Is we just left the gym, we had a little snack, kind of rushed because we're doing an awful lot of things today, and then here I am. When we get done here, I'm gonna have a shower. I might have a little 200 calorie snack bar or something, and then we're gonna go train for 3 or 4 hours. And that's what it looks like. So it doesn't look pretty. I think success doesn't always look pretty. I think success is like, I don't want to be excessively crass for the two of you, but like success maybe smells like sweaty balls in a locker room or something. It doesn't necessarily smell pretty. It doesn't necessarily look pretty. But if you get things done, then you get things done. The results are undeniable. The results tell the truth about your efforts and your intellect. The results tell the truth about your efforts and your intellect. So all that matters is your results. How do you think about this general topic?
I think of it a couple different ways. I know exactly what you guys are saying about just the fake stuff is so transparent and kind of like pathetic, but I think it's good to share your wins too. Like when you do something cool, and I like when I see like you share on your post like, oh, I made 800 grand today. I like to send the flame and stuff. I like seeing like your success. Or like Katlyn's super humble. She never likes to share anything on hers. But I sort of see it both ways. I think it's like I don't have the following that you guys do or some, but I think it's important to share your wins. Like if you do something big, like it's cool to buy, your 12th property of the year, win your, most UFC fights in your division. I think it's important to share your wins, but it's obvious when people are being transparent and fake about it. But when you're doing something substantial, I think it's a good thing to kind of share your success. I get inspired when I see, if you buy a new watch or something, I'm like, oh, that's sick. I like seeing that stuff. So I think it's, when you're doing something substantial and real, I think it's okay to share your success, but then the fake stuff is, painfully obvious and pathetic to see. So it's kind of like, strive to achieve something worth, sharing.
I've thought, numerous times if I wanted to be the best marketer I could be, then whenever I pick somebody up at the airport, we should have like a camera crew with like a cameraman or even a second vehicle with a camera crew to to annoy whoever my guest is that week is like, oh, I'm in the Maybach with Chuck Liddell, blah, 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 blah. So,
when you say that sounds like you're speaking hyperbole. You're literally in a Maybach with Chuck Liddell from the airport. That happens, a couple times a month or a year.
Yeah, he comes over a couple times a year. He's coming over in, I don't know, a month and a half from now, middle of July, he'll be over here again. But yeah, I think to myself, like, I don't know. I don't want to go somewhere and somebody shoving a camera in my face and I was supposed to be an actor or something instead of just living my life. And I think Chuck probably had enough of that in his life. So I never do that, And you guys, I do the same thing with Chuck that I do with you folks, is anybody else that's here. We join the mentoring call, we chat for an hour. Maybe we have, cameras around us for half an hour while we're training, 45 minutes while we're training. But, we spend, most of our waking hours, we're either lifting weights, MMA training, or eating something so we can lift more weights and do MMA training. And how much time do we need a camera there? That's all I do. And I think a humorous one that comes up, people say, what's new, Derek? Nothing.
Same, yeah.
Nothing. I just do the same things repetitively. And, we were, last night, how many times did we do the same couple things over and over and over the last couple days?
I really did 2 things, really.
Yeah. And but they're coming out pretty smooth.
Yeah.
They're coming out pretty smooth. Maybe that's another interesting topic that we were chatting about, this week is like, how important do you folks think it is that, I think for at least for me, for my learning style, I like doing little boring things repetitively. I like to do the things that I know other people are, too stupid or too lazy to do. So I think if I'm bored doing something, but I know it's valuable, it's like, I don't care how I feel about it. I'll continue to train the valuable thing, whether that's finance related or, fighting related. Just like, this is going to be really useful. I might be bored with it myself. I might emotionally want to do something else, but I'm like, no, this is going to be super useful. Let's try just a couple more, a little longer. And that burns it in my head in a way that I can bring that back when I need it. You have that tool, ready at hand, just ready to pick up and use that tool whenever you need it in the future because you did the reps, you thought about it in depth. You didn't just learn something mechanically in a way like you're mimicking someone else, but you learned it intellectually of like, this is why it works and these are the core principles and, things might happen this way or that way in the stock market and we can adapt on the fly and make it work. Or things could happen differently in a fight and we'll adapt and make it work. What do you folks think about the value of repetition or being willing to do little boring things that maybe aren't fun, but probably are valuable?
Yeah, in my training, I do the same stuff. Obviously I'm learning new moves, but the basics, and I do them over and over and over again for like years. And, sometimes when I train with other people or, I remember the one time Kyle was teaching a bunch of kids some wrestling and one of the parents was, they already know all these moves. Can you teach them other stuff? And we're like, well, it doesn't really work like that. If you watch like the highest level, they're doing, in fighting, they're doing, what are the knockout punches? Jab, it's a cross or hook. They're not doing anything crazy. Sometimes you'll see like a spinning back fist or something, but it's like a right hand or a rear, power hand. It's the same. The first punch that you learn on day one in any striking or boxing class, but just doing it over and over and over again. So your brain doesn't even have to think about throwing it. It just becomes natural. And being able to do those techniques or do those moves when you're completely exhausted, when the opponent is doing things that you were not prepared for whatever reason. And that's the importance of just doing things over and over and over again and having the same enthusiasm when you're doing it is, I think, very important. Sometimes people always want to like reinvent things and try different, do it differently and something that's more exciting, but there's a reason why certain things work. And sometimes doing it, boring or repetitive is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, I used to have a coach who'd say all the time, repetition makes greatness, and there's so much truth to that. Like in anything, I think repetition makes greatness. The more times you do something, the better you get at it. And whether you're, hammering in nails. Like a good guy at construction could hammer it in 2 strikes, rather than maybe me. I don't do that. It might take me 10. The more times you do something, the more proficient you get at it. Repetition makes greatness. And whether you're in hammering nails or throwing, a 1-2 combination, or, investing in the stock market. I think the more times you do something and have a sound understanding of the fundamentals, I think, the better you are at it. And pretty much everything. Repetition makes greatness.
I'm smiling a little bit about the nail analogy, because I remember being a kid and like a child, and when you're a kid you're holding the nail and
hit your thumb.
Yeah, hit your thumb.
Yeah.
And the old guys don't do that. Yeah, the old guys are tap tap.
Yeah.
Next one, tap tap.
But they've done it for 40 years.
Yeah. And I remember asking one of those old fellas, and how come you never hit your thumb? And he's like, someday you'll get tired of hitting your thumb too, and you'll just stop doing that.
Exactly.
So you hit it a few more times. When you get tired of it, then you'll stop.
And that's such is life.
Yeah. And I always remembered that. I don't know if I was even 12. I might have been younger than that at the time. But, I remember that a third of a century later, the old guy, I don't know, he's good at much else, but he's good at roofing,
Yeah.
And he's just...
I know plenty of people like that.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to do... If you can't do some homework, if you can't do little boring things, you don't have the self-discipline to do that, then, you're not going to trust yourself to make serious decisions. You're not even if you had some resources to invest, you're not going to trust yourself to invest because you didn't do the work. You don't really know what you're doing. And then when one of the biggest opportunities of your life, get put in front of you, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to have the skills to do it, and you're either going to be overextended and fuck up badly, or you're just not going to. You'd be wise to admit to yourself, I haven't done the work, I haven't done the training, I don't deserve to win right now, and I'm missing out on and messing up the best opportunities of my lifetime because I didn't do the work ahead of time. So I have this saying that I say to them, and it comes up at live conferences sometimes. Like you don't get to go to war with the weapons you wish you had. You're going to go to war with the weapons the resources that you created during peace times. So when everything was boring and other people were out partying and drinking a goldfish with some beer or something like that, whatever they do in colleges, protesting reality, whatever they do at colleges today. Well, other kids are doing that. If you're learning things that are valuable, when a bad situation comes, it won't be a bad situation for you. It'll be the best damn situation of your life, that you're going to be better prepared than anyone else to go capitalize in those moments. And I don't know, it's a really sad circumstance that people, have the opportunity, fail to take the opportunity, and then cry about it later. It's like, I guess life is fair that way, but it's unfortunate if you miss that. But if you can't do the homework, if you can't do the training, it'd be foolish for you to think that you're going to outperform the people who did.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.